Part 9. Immortal world is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 81. It was quiet all around. Mr. Wei and others stopped talking. So much so that they could clearly hear Suwu's voice on the phone. All eyes were focused on Suyu. Lin Zixuan used secret voice transmission to tell Nijixuan about Suyu. Now Nijixuan has chosen to follow Suyu. So there are things he should know. After Nijixuan learned about Suyu's past, his old face was filled with anger. The Tianhai Su family is simply inhumane. When Suyu faced Suwu's indifferent words, he said calmly, "Why don't you dare? I'll be there on time the day after tomorrow. I will definitely give you the most unforgettable day. Say it." Before Suwu could speak, he hung up the phone and returned the phone to Lin Zixuan. This time, no one tried to persuade Suyu anymore. They knew that Suyu was determined to go to Tianhai and make a complete break with the Su family. Now they know that Suyu has the cultivation level of the early stage of Tianxing realm. What are the chances of breaking into the Su family with such a level of cultivation and finally escaping unscathed? Mr. Wei and the others didn't know. Mr. Chiao said, "Senior Su, me, Old Man Wei, Zixuan girl, and Zhang family girl have all entered the early stage of creation realm. With us helping you, at least you will have a little more hope. Old Wei and I know a lot of powerful people. We will contact you immediately and ask them to come and help." Nijixuan adjusted his mood, "Senior Su, although my strength is low, I also know some strong people in the sky control realm and the creation realm. I will also help you contact them and let them go to Tianhai with you." Suyu was too lazy to refuse anymore. "Through this time, we can actually select some monks worth training. After all, the establishment of Changsheng Academy requires many strong people to take charge, and Suyu cannot stay in Linzhou forever." Mr. Wei and the others finally breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that Suyu didn't refuse. "Go back first." Suyu walked towards Lin Zixuan's villa. The others followed him. At the same time, the manor of the Su family in Tianhai. Its footprint is very exaggerated. There are many buildings inside, including one outside a luxurious villa. Suwu stood in front of a fish pond, his face a little gloomy. That loser Suyu dared to hang up on him, damn it. Standing on his left was an imposing middle-aged man. This man was Suwu's father, Su Xiao, and he was also the current head of the Su family. "You want Suyu to appear at your grandfather's birthday party. Have you asked your grandpa about this in advance?" Su Xiao frowned slightly. The old man of the Su family has the highest status in the family. Even after Su Xiao took the position of the head of the family, he did not dare to disobey the old man. Suwu smiled and said, "Dad, don't worry, do you think I am a person who doesn't consider the consequences? I have informed Grandpa about this and he nodded in agreement. And Grandpa said that if I want to kill Suyu at the birthday banquet, he will just pretend that he didn't see it. The old man of the Su family is really cruel. Suyu is also his grandson, and he can actually say such things." When Su Xiao heard this, he nodded with confidence. In 2 years, Suyu was able to transform from a useless person to an early-stage monk of the sea transformation realm. His opportunities should not be underestimated. Previously, Yang Hai, the head of the Linzhou branch of the Hidden Department, came to Tianhai, and Suwu learned from him that Suyu's current real cultivation level was in the early stage of the sea transformation realm. Seeing that his son fell into silence, Su Xiao continued, "Yang Hai wanted to capture Suyu, so he was killed. Even if Yang Zhen comes out to stand up for Yang Hai, Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao will not give him any face. Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan are also involved in this matter. According to the latest news I got, Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan have a very good relationship. You may have offended Lin Zixuan by calling Zhang Wan and asking her to investigate Suyu. Zhang Wan therefore asked the Zhang family to cut off all cooperation with our Su family. Zhang is deeply loved by Mr. Zhang in the Zhang family. Now the Zhang family and the Su family have severed cooperation, leaving the Su family in a very passive situation. Su Wu snorted coldly and said, Zhang dares to go against me. She is the woman I like. She will never escape from my grasp in this life. Now that I have entered the early stage of the sky control realm, the distance between me and Zhang has been shortened. He squinted his eyes slightly and looked at the starry night sky. Mr. Zhang will also come to my grandpa's birthday party the day after tomorrow. Grandpa has contacted Mr. Zhang privately. Grandpa made an offer that Mr. Zhang can't refuse. On the day of the birthday party, Mr. Zhang will publicly announce the marriage between the Zhang family and the Su family. Zhang will become my fiancé, Su Wu. By then, the cooperation between the Zhang family and the Su family will be restored to its original state. Even Su Xiao didn't know about this. It seems that the old man really values Su Wu very much. He patted Su Wu on the shoulder and said, if we can dig out some more useful opportunities from Su Yu this time, you will become the most shining existence in Xia Kingdom in the future. Under your leadership, the Su family will definitely go higher and further. Su Xiao was very pleased. At this time, several martial artists from the Su family walked up to Su Wu with a man and a woman. Young Master Su, you have captured these two bastards. This is a man and a woman. The man looks handsome, and the woman has a hint of Zhang in her eyebrows. The two are boyfriend and girlfriend. Like Su Wu, they are students of Tianhai Immortal Martial Academy. Su Wu fell in love with this woman, but she refused to obey her. Her boyfriend informed the higher UPS at the college. After Su Wu learned about it, he immediately had the pair of Mandarin ducks captured. Right now, their hands and feet are tied. The man roared, Su Wu, aren't you just relying on the power of the Su family? I heard that the immortal bones in your body belong to your cousin. If you don't use this fairy bone, you are nothing. Su Wu ignored the man's clamor and looked at the woman with cold eyes. Are you willing to spend the night with me tonight? Pooh. The woman spat at Su Wu, I will not bow to a despicable person like you. Su Wu waved his hand coldly, my fish is hungry. The Su family martial artists took out their daggers, opened several wounds on the man and woman, and then pushed them into the fish pond. Blood flowed into the water. A dense group of black shadows swam towards the man and woman. Immediately afterwards, the sound of gnawing echoed in the air. These black shadows are piranhas, and they are mutated piranhas. Even if a sea transformation realm monk falls into it, he will be bitten by these piranhas without leaving any bones. The man and woman died before they could even scream. Su Wu looked at the fish pond that was dyed red, his face expressionless. My good cousin, my fish are not full yet, I am still waiting to feed them to you. Su Xiao did not stop Su Wu. It seemed to him that his son had killed two small fish. It doesn't matter at all. Immortal world is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 82. The night is as dark as ink. Deep and lonely. In the lobby of Lin Zixuan's villa in Linzhou. The lights are bright. Nijixuan respectfully asked Su Yu for some advice on alchemy. Every time Su Yu gave a few casual instructions, Nijixuan Mao would suddenly enlighten. Wang Menglu on the side saw her master as happy as a child, and she tried hard not to regret it. She tried hard not to think about what would have happened if she had taken Su Yu as her disciple. Seeing that Nijixuan was lost in thought again, Su Yu looked at Tang Yuxin. Yuxin, it's getting late, you can go upstairs to rest first. Tang Yuxin shook her head, I'm not tired. Su Yu suddenly thought of something, Yuxin, without a storage ring, it would be inconvenient for you to carry things around, right? I'll give you one. As soon as these words came out, Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan, who were chatting, looked over instantly. Only Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao present had storage rings. They spent a lot of energy to get a storage ring. After Suyu noticed the gazes of Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan, he casually said, "You want it too?" Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan nodded unconsciously. For monks, it is really inconvenient not to have a storage ring. In Xia country, the price of the most common storage ring is also frighteningly high. And money may not necessarily buy it. Suyu waved his hand casually, and the storage ring on his finger flashed. Immediately afterwards, storage rings appeared one after another on the table in the hall. At least hundreds of them. Suyu collected tens of thousands of storage rings during his 2,000 years in the immortal world. All the storage rings he collected were the best of the best. Now he just randomly took out hundreds of them. You take your pick. Everyone who sees it has a share. Suyu said calmly. This moment, the air in the hall seemed to be frozen. Except Suyu, who looked indifferent. The rest of the people were not calm anymore. Wang Mengele couldn't help but ask, "Suyu, are these rings you took out storage rings?" Suyu nodded casually. Seeing this, everyone present felt short of breath again. What is the combined value of hundreds of storage rings? They really can't measure it. After Mr. Wei calmed down for a moment, he said, "Senior Su, I already have a storage ring, so I won't choose it." Mr. Chiao is not a greedy person. However, he subconsciously asked, "Senior Su, how much space do you have in these storage rings?" Suyu said casually, "The smallest space in these storage rings covers an area of more than 10,000 square meters and is almost 20 meters high." As soon as these words came out, the hall was so quiet that only the sound of breathing remained. Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao swallowed saliva with gurgling sounds in their throats. Lin Zixuan's villa covers an area of almost more than 1,000 square meters, which means that the space in Suyu's storage rings is at least as big as 10 of Lin Zixuan's villas. You must know that the space in Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao's storage rings is at most the size of a small room in Lin Zixuan's villa. Such a storage ring is already priceless in Xia Kingdom today. But in front of the storage ring that Suyu took out, their storage ring was really garbage among garbage. Fortunately, Mr. Chiao hasn't said no yet. He asked tentatively, "Senior Su, can I get one?" Seeing Suyu nod, Mr. Chiao carefully picked up a storage ring and found that the space inside was indeed as big as Suyu said. He fell into shock again and could not recover for a long time. "Senior Su, this storage ring is too valuable. If it is put up for auction, it will definitely shock the world. I deserve it." After a while, Mr. Chiao said with a trembling voice. Suyu said calmly, "If you like it, just accept it. By the way, in addition to the storage function of these storage rings, each storage ring has different improvements for the monks." He looked at the storage ring in Mr. Chiao's hand. "The storage ring you picked up can increase your attack power 6 times. You just need to drop blood on the storage ring and let yourself connect with the storage ring." Mr. Chiao and others were stunned again. In their understanding, storage rings are used to store things. They have never heard that storage rings can also improve monks' abilities in all aspects. Increase attack power 6 times. Could this be true? If it is true, Mr. Chiao can rely on this storage ring to kill his opponent instantly. When everyone's emotions are getting higher and higher, Suyu said calmly, "If you are sure to choose the storage ring, just do as I say." Mr. Chiao simply can't refuse now. This storage ring was really too outrageous, so he took off his original storage ring and put the storage ring given by Suyu on his left index finger. Then, he cut his right thumb and dripped blood on the storage ring. Soon, blood drops seeped into the storage ring. In the eyes of everyone, Mr. Chiao closed his eyes and began to get in touch with the storage ring. A few minutes later, he opened his eyes, with uncontrollable excitement on his face, and said, "Senior Su, I want to go to the front yard." Suyu nodded. The others saw Mr. Chiao rushing out of the hall, and they ran out together. I saw Mr. Chiao punching the night sky randomly without any hesitation. Bang! There was a violent explosion in the night sky. Waves of ripples appeared high in the sky. The surrounding ground shook violently, and cracks covered the surrounding area like spider webs. You know, this is just a punch thrown by Mr. Chiao lightly. With his cultivation in the early stage of creation realm, it would be impossible for him to throw out a punch at will with such power. This moment, Mr. Chiao was so excited that even his hands were trembling. My attack power has really increased 6 times. Even faintly exceeded by 6 times. Incredible, it's really incredible. The others held their breaths after seeing this. Mr. Chiao smiled and said to Mr. Wei, "Mr. Wei, you just said you would not choose Senior Su's storage ring. You missed a big opportunity." Mr. Wei's face turned ugly for a while. Mr. Chiao walked back to the hall with a hearty laugh. He bowed to Suyu repeatedly, "Senior Su, from now on, my life will be yours." Mr. Wei, who followed in, rubbed his hands and looked at Suyu with an embarrassed expression. "Okay. Take your pick," Suyu said calmly. At this moment, Suyu's voice was like celestial music to Mr. Wei. He kept bowing and thanking, "Thank you, Senior Su, thank you, Senior Su." After Suyu waved his hand casually, he looked at Lin Zixuan and others, "Don't be stunned, choose one each." Lu Lin and the others seemed to be dreaming. Naturally, they did not choose, but took one carefully. Among the hundreds of storage rings, even the worst one would be the best in the world when taken outside. So, they have nothing to choose from. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Immortal World is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 83. The cool evening breeze blew gently. The front yard was filled with Mr. Wei's hearty laughter. He came from behind and chose a storage ring that could increase his attack power 8 times. And the storage space is no smaller than Chiao Lao's. This made Mr. Chiao envious and jealous. The storage rings chosen by other people all have similar internal spaces. Zhongwan's storage ring has the effect of assisting monks in their cultivation, allowing them to enter a state of selfless cultivation within a few seconds. This kind of cultivation state can be encountered but not sought. From now on, Zhongwan can rely on the storage ring given by Suyu to enter a state of selflessness at any time. Naturally, she is extremely happy. Most of the hundreds of rings Suyu took out were to increase attack power. Zhongwan was lucky. By cultivating in a state of selflessness, her future cultivation speed will skyrocket, which is better than increasing her attack power by 8 times. Except Zhongwan. The storage rings of Wang Menglu, Lu Lin, and others all increase their attack power. Now only Lin Zixuan and Tang Yuxin have not chosen storage rings. Only 3 people, Suyu, Tang Yuxin, and Lin Zixuan, were left in the hall. Everyone else was in the front yard. The storage ring on Suyu's finger flashed, and a blue ring appeared in his palm. "Yuxin, this storage ring is for you. I built this with my own hands. It covers an internal area of more than 100,000 square meters and is 100 meters high." The hundreds of storage rings he took out before had only more than 10,000 square meters of space inside and a height of only 20 meters. There is no comparison between the two. Seeing that Tang Yuxin was stunned, Suyu continued, "This storage ring has 3 additional abilities. The first one allows you to increase your attack power 10 times. The second is to allow you to quickly enter a state of selfless cultivation. The third way is to make you invulnerable to all poisons. Like it?" After Tang Yuxin came to her senses, she shyly took the blue storage ring. This was built by Suyu himself, so it was naturally of great significance to her. Turning around, her beautiful eyes widened slightly. "Suyu could even make a storage ring?" Lin Zixuan's face was full of surprise. After Suyu noticed the change in the expressions of the two women, he said, "It's quite troublesome to make storage rings. The hundreds of storage rings I just took out were all collected by me. The rings I make are only for my women." When Tang Yuxin heard this, she buried her head low and her cheeks became even redder. She did not go to the front yard to activate the function of the storage ring. "Suyu, I'm a little tired. I'm going to take a shower first." After saying something hastily, Tang Yuxin ran upstairs. Lin Zixuan bit her lips lightly, her beautiful eyes fixed on Suyu. "This storage ring is for you." Suyu took out another purple storage ring. "This is also a storage ring made by me. Its additional abilities are the same as the blue storage ring just now." Lin Zixuan snorted coldly, "Who cares?" When Suyu heard this, he wanted to take back the purple storage ring. Unexpectedly, even though Lin Zixuan said this, she reached out very quickly and took away the purple storage ring in Suyu's hand. Purple is Lin Zixuan's favorite color. She was very happy now. "Young disciple, seeing how sincere you are, I will reluctantly accept it." "Tired? Tell Zhongwan and the others that I'm going to rest first." Lin Zixuan walked towards the second floor. Not long after, Zhongwan and others walked back to the hall. Wang Menglu asked, "Where are you Xian and Dean Lin? Have they finished selecting storage rings?" Suyu replied casually, "They are a little tired, so they went back upstairs to rest." The rest had no doubts. Zhongwan, on the other hand, looked at Suyu suspiciously. "Everyone, please help yourself." Finished. Suyu went upstairs towards his room. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao and others were too excited to sleep, so they simply chatted in the hall. For people with their level of cultivation, even if they don't sleep for several months, there won't be any physical problems. After Suyu left, Zhongwan found an excuse and walked upstairs. After she took a shower, she walked into Suyu's room wearing a sling. Didn't even knock on the door. Suyu, who was sitting on the bed, frowned slightly when he saw Zhongwan with such a hot figure walking in. Zhongwan closed the door. "What are you doing in my room?" Suyu asked. Zhongwan sat down next to Suyu. A burst of mature woman's fragrance drifted into Suyu's nose. "Brother Suyu, of course I'm here to warm your bed. I'm a man of my word." Zhongwan leaned forward and deliberately approached Suyu. Her figure is so good, her plump pear is about to burst the white suspender belt. The most important thing is that Suyu discovered that Zhongwan was not wearing a bra. The magnitude of the shaking would have caused a hungry wolf to pounce on a man who was not strong-willed enough. To be honest, Zhongwan is really beautiful. Her beauty is different from Lin Zixuan and Tang Yuxin. Lin Zixuan is a cold and proud beauty. Tang Yuxin is a gentle and obedient beauty. Zhongwan, on the other hand, is as passionate and beautiful as fire. "Brother Suyu, am I beautiful?" Zhongwan asked with her red lips close to Suyu's ear. Her plump pear rubbed against Suyu's arms intentionally or unintentionally. "Very flexible. Suyu is a man. He's a very normal man." The breath in his nose was a little hot. At this time, there was a sudden knock on the door. Then, without waiting for Suyu to speak, the door was opened. Lin Zixuan walked into the room wearing silk pajamas. Zhongwan had no time to leave from the window, so she could only get into Suyu's quilt. This scene is very familiar. At this point, what else can Suyu do? He could only use his legs to lift up the quilt. Zhongwan kept her aura extremely restrained. Lin Zixuan did not notice that there was a third person in the room. After closing the door, she said in a cold voice, "Young disciple, what kind of relationship do we have now?" In order to prevent another accident from happening, Suyu was about to ask Lin Zixuan to lock the door. As a result, the sound of the door lock turning was heard. "Suyu, I'm in." It was Tang Yuxin's voice. Lin Zixuan definitely didn't want to be seen by Tang Yuxin, wearing a pajamas in Su Yu's room so late. She wanted to walk away from the window. However, Tang Yuxin has already walked in. That's too late. She could only get into Su Yu's quilt. Lin Zixuan breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Zhang Wan under the quilt. The two women looked at each other and remained silent. Tang Yuxin, who was wearing pajamas, was very shy. It was with Wang Menglo's instigation that she mustered up the courage to come to Su Yu's room. She really likes Su Yu and is willing to give herself to Su Yu. Su Yu, can I chat with you here tonight? While talking, she wanted to go to bed, lift the quilt, and be in the same bed with Su Yu. When Su Yu saw this, he looked bitter. Too many people. I can't get under the quilt. Immortal world is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 84. Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan in the quilt heard Tang Yuxin's words. They looked nervous. If Tang Yuxin lifts the quilt, could it be that the two of them were caught and raped in bed? Su Yu didn't want to make things awkward. He stood up and hugged Tang Yuxin's waist. Yuxin, let's go to the yard to enjoy the moon. He waved his arm. The window is open. The figure moved. He hugged Tang Yuxin and landed in the front yard. Su Yu took out a thick coat from the storage ring and put it on Tang Yuxin. It's almost 12 o'clock. The temperature outside is a bit cool. In the room, Zhang Wan and Lin Zixuan confirmed that Su Yu and Tang Yuxin had left. They got out of the quilt. The two glared at each other. After a few seconds, Zhang Wan looked Lin Zixuan up and down. Why did you question Su Yu just now? You still call him a disciple, what's wrong with him? Lin Zixuan pursed her lips. Zhang Wan saw the purple storage ring on Lin Zixuan's right hand. There is no purple storage ring among the hundreds of rings Su Yu took out. He gave this to you alone. Zhang Wan is very smart. Her eyes became playful. Lin Zixuan said, why did you come to Su Yu's room in the middle of the night? Why did you still hide under his quilt? She gritted her teeth. If she and Tang Yuxin don't show up tonight, will Su Yu and Zhang Wan be in the room? Thinking of this, she was very angry. Zhang Wan looked indifferent. I promised brother Su Yu that I would come to warm his bed. I'm just fulfilling my promise. Lin Zixuan said coldly, he has already rejected you. Face your man. Even the best friends can never give in to each other. Zhang Wan hugged Lin Zixuan from behind, and her hands climbed onto Lin Zixuan's plump breasts. Zixuan, why are you so serious? Have you already been tasted by Su Yu? In the past, the two of them would often joke like this when no one was around. When Lin Zixuan was touched like this by Zhang Wan, she recalled the madness with Su Yu again in her mind. She immediately broke away from Zhang Wan. Now her pajamas have become a little wrinkled, can you be more serious? Zhang Wan lay on Su Yu's bed and said, Zixuan, what do you think of Su Yu's brother? Seeing that Lin Zixuan didn't speak, she continued, with how evil brother Su Yu is, he will definitely not be short of women around him in the future. From the time I was sensible to today, Su Yu was the first man who made my heart flutter. I just want to pursue the happiness that belongs to me. You and I can form an alliance. From now on, the two of us will definitely be able to charm Su Yu. Lin Zixuan's beautiful eyes flashed with disbelief. She knows her best friend. Although Zhang Wan looks very open, she is very conservative at heart. No man has ever truly taken advantage of her. Moreover, Zhang Wan is very proud. She once said that from now on, her man must only love her wholeheartedly. Zhang Wan, I think you are crazy. Have you forgotten what you said before? Lin Zixuan frowned. Zhang Wan replied, of course I won't forget. But I'm pretty sure that I can't have a man like Su Yu alone. Now that I am sure that he is the man I am waiting for, I am naturally willing to make some changes for him. If I miss him, I'm afraid I will regret it for the rest of my life. The look in her beautiful eyes became extremely serious. Zixuan, please tell the truth. As long as you are a woman, after seeing how evil Suyu is, will you still like other men? Lin Zixuan was stunned for a moment. For a moment, she couldn't find the words to refute. It seems that what Zhangwan said makes sense. Quickly tell me about your storage ring's ability. If you don't tell me, I'm going to shout. Zhangwan cleared her throat deliberately, as if she was about to shout. Lin Zixuan knew that this woman could do anything if she went crazy. Under desperation, she could only briefly describe the storage ring's space and 3 abilities. And she mentioned that this was a storage ring made by Suyu himself. This made Zhangwan very jealous. Especially after learning that Suyu could make a storage ring, she became even more fascinated by Suyu. Zixuan, don't deny it. You must have become Suyu's woman. Zhangwan said firmly. Lin Zixuan didn't speak again. She leaned against the window and looked at Suyu and Tang Yuxin in the pavilion below. The expression on her face was a little complicated. Zhangwan followed Lin Zixuan's gaze and asked, do you think you are a mistress? Based on what I know about you, you wouldn't take the initiative to throw yourself into Suyu's arms. It should be an accident between you and him, right? Lin Zixuan's eyes moved slightly. This best friend really understands her. Both of them fell into silence, looking at Suyu in the pavilion from a distance. The moonlight is gentle. Suyu and Tang Yuxin sat on the stone chairs. They looked up at the moon. As long as Tang Yuxin stays with Suyu, she feels very comfortable and safe. Time passes minute by minute. Just after 12 o'clock in the morning, Suyu said to Tang Yuxin, "Happy birthday." Then, he took out a necklace from the storage ring. "Yuxin, this is my birthday gift to you." The necklace is made of a silvery metal. A light blue gemstone hangs from the necklace. This necklace is called Star Love. Shall I put it on for you? Suyu asked. Tang Yuxin raised her head slightly. Suyu moved closer, as if hugging Tang Yuxin, and helped her wear Star Love from the front. There are 3 attacks and 3 defenses sealed in this necklace. If the person wearing the necklace is in danger, the sealed attacks and defenses will be automatically activated. Of course, he didn't mention these things to Tang Yuxin. Tang Yuxin didn't ask what was special about this necklace. As long as Suyu gave it to her, even if it was a can, she would like it very much. The moment Love of the Stars was worn around Tang Yuxin's neck, a layer of light flashed on the stars in the night sky at the same time. Suddenly, a meteor streaked across the sky. Then came more and more shooting stars. Soon, a meteor shower formed. Tang Yuxin's slightly cold left hand slowly approached Suyu's right hand. When her left hand touched Suyu's right hand, her body trembled with obvious nervousness. She secretly encouraged herself in her heart. After Suyu guessed what this girl was thinking, he looked at the meteor shower in the night sky with a doting smile on his lips. His right hand held Tang Yuxin's left hand. When Tang Yuxin's cheeks were slightly red, Suyu and her intertwined their fingers. Tang Yuxin felt Suyu's warm hands, and a sweet smile flashed on her face. Under the moonlight, she smiled happily. She even wished that time could stop at this moment. Immortal World is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 85. Early morning. The sun gradually rises from the east. The sun shines on the earth. Early in the morning. After Suyu gave Tang Yuxin gifts, the two of them went back to their rooms to rest, and Tang Yuxin did not ask to go to Suyu's room to chat. Zhangwan and Lin Zixuan had also returned to their rooms long ago. Now, Suyu walked downstairs. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, and Nijixuan, who were in the hall, immediately stood up and greeted Suyu respectfully. Not a moment. Zhangwan and Lin Zixuan also walked downstairs. The two of them looked at Suyu with more indescribable emotions in their eyes. Just when Lin Zixuan was about to speak, the phone in her pocket rang, and she frowned when she learned that someone from the Imperial Capital Department of Talents had arrived at Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy. The people from the Ministry of Talents are definitely here to seize Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy. After ending the call, Lin Zixuan repeated the contents of the phone call to Suyu and others. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, and Nijixuan immediately expressed their intention to go together. Suyu also decided to go there because he was worried that Lin Zixuan could not handle the matter well. No matter what, Lin Zixuan can be considered his woman. He would never allow his woman to be bullied. Zixuan, everyone in the talents department has eyes on their heads. We will try to deal with the matter calmly later. Zhang Wan said. Tomorrow she would accompany Suyu to Tianhai, so she thought there was no need to create extraneous matters today. Lin Zixuan nodded slightly. Tang Yuxin and others are practicing in the room. Suyu didn't ask anyone to call down Tang Yuxin and the others. Today is Tang Yuxin's birthday. In the evening, Suyu will prepare an unforgettable birthday party for Tang Yuxin. The group didn't talk nonsense anymore. After stepping out of the villa, he rushed towards Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy. Soon, they rushed outside the college. Many students and teachers were in a hurry. They are all people who are unwilling to stay and join Changsheng Academy. Nowadays, the entire Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy seems a bit depressed. Suyu and the others stepped into the gate of the academy and saw many people standing in the square with the colorful fairy tower. The most conspicuous among them are a man and a woman. The man's appearance was quite handsome, there was a coldness between his brows, and his whole body exuded a terrifying aura. This person is the youngest deputy minister in the history of the Ministry of Talents. His name is Ye Qingtian. He looks only about 30 years old, but his real age is already 45. The woman standing next to Ye Qingtian is his sister Ye Binglan. Brother, Lin Zixuan is here. Ye Binglan said coldly. She currently works at the Immortal Martial Academy in the Imperial Capital. She is the apprentice of the current dean. It is said that she may become the next dean of the Immortal Martial Academy in the Imperial Capital. The moment Lin Zixuan saw Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglan, a complex look flashed in her beautiful eyes. Zhang Wan sent a secret message to Suyu, Brother Suyu, the visitors are Zixuan's fiancé Ye Qingtian and his sister Ye Binglan. Ye Qingtian is now one of the deputy ministers of the Department of Talents. Ye Binglan's master is the current dean of the Immortal Martial Academy in the Imperial Capital. She may become the next dean. Say it. She used sound transmission to explain the identities of Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglan to Mr. Wei and others. Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao had seen these two people in the Imperial Capital. Suyu's eyes were indifferent, and he walked into the square leisurely. Ye Qingtian's eyes moved slightly. After scanning around, he finally fixed his gaze on Suyu. He and Ye Binglan walked towards Suyu and others. Zixuan, long time no see. After approaching, a smile flashed on Ye Qingtian's face. Lin Zixuan said coldly, Ye Qingtian, I'm not familiar with you. Ye Binglan snorted coldly, Lin Zixuan, you are my brother's fiancé, and you actually said that you are not familiar with my brother. Don't you think you're ridiculous? Lin Zixuan's face turned even colder, and she secretly paid attention to Suyu from the corner of her eye. It was the Lin family who made the decision for me without permission, and made me have an engagement with Ye Qingtian. I was repulsed from the beginning to the end. I, Lin Zixuan, will not marry someone I don't like. Ye Qingtian looked at Suyu, are you doing it for this kid? I heard that Qingtians and Song Ruian invited this kid to their engagement party, and they asked Song Suiao to send him an invitation letter. In the end, you killed Song Suiao for this kid. Is this true? Qingtians asked Song Ruian to find a way to reveal Lin Zixuan's efforts to protect Suyu to Ye Qingtian's heirs. Ye Binglan said angrily, Lin Zixuan, are you blind? In what way is this boy comparable to my brother? Today my brother is here to seal Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy, and I am here to investigate the death of our academy's vice president Han Qingshan and his granddaughter Han Ziyi. Han Qingshan and Han Ziyi died outside Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy last night. Don't tell me that you didn't know about this. Vice President Han has the cultivation level of the great perfection of creation. With just a few of you, you are no match for him. Lin Zixuan, did you invite a strong person from your Lin family? She glanced at Zhang Wan, Mr. Wei, and others again. Your status is extraordinary. Today's situation is entirely because of this kid. Do you regret it? Su Yu's eyes were always calm. After Ye Binglan noticed Su Yu's calmness, she said angrily, "Boy, don't think that relying on Mr. Wei and the others, you can do whatever you want. The world is a big place, and if some people want to kill you, it will be easy." After a pause, she continued, "At the beginning, Yang Hai, the head of the Linzhou branch of the Yinbu department, wanted to capture this kid. Yang Zhen stood up for Yang Hai. As long as you are willing to apologize publicly and behead this kid in public, you can go back to your original seats. How's that? This is a good thing for you. Want to behead Su Yu in public?" Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, and Nai Jixuan had angry faces. Zhang Wan's face was extremely cold, like a 10,000-year ice cave. Lin Zixuan said to Ye Qingtian, "You can seal Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy. But if you dare to touch Su Yu, I won't agree." Ye Qingtian narrowed his eyes slightly. "After beheading this kid in public, all the turmoil will be settled. Have you really fallen in love with this loser? I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it." Finished. He glanced at the space crack sealed by the burning sky sword high in the sky. After taking a deep breath, Ye Qingtian bowed deeply in the direction of no one. "Senior Su Changsheng and Junior Ye Qingtian are here to visit. I beg to see you." He bent his body at 90 degrees and did not stand up straight for a long time. This is to show his sincerity. Ye Binglan also bowed deeply. "Senior Su Changsheng, please meet my brother. He admires you very much." Su Yu had a weird look on his face. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Immortal World is back. I am Invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 86. 5 minutes flew by. Seeing no response, Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglan stood up straight one after another. They had no hope at all. How could a mysterious and powerful person like Su Changsheng pay attention to them? The siblings were just giving it a try. 5 minutes are up. Ye Qingtian said indifferently. Lin Zixuan's beautiful eyes flashed coldly. "Ye Qingtian, I advise you to go back to the imperial capital as soon as possible. Linzhou is not a place for you to run wild." This time, before Ye Qingtian could speak, Ye Binglan said, "Lin Zixuan, it was my brother who always accommodated you in the past. He was afraid of hurting your self-esteem, so he made me give in front of you every time. You may be the proud daughter of heaven in front of others, but in front of me, Ye Binglan, you are nothing. Brother, I'm here to help you teach Lin Zixuan a lesson today and make her recognize the reality. Otherwise you'll never get her. Now that she has reached this point for an abandoned son of the Tianhai Su family, do we still have to give in?" Ye Qingtian didn't speak again. It would be nice to let Lin Zixuan be frustrated for a while. When Ye Binglan saw this, a smile appeared on her lips, and the aura of the late stage of creation on her body soared. Lin Zixuan stepped forward. "Let me handle the things here." Su Yu didn't say much, he just watched quietly. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, and others stood vigilantly beside Su Yu. Ye Binglan's eyes showed coldness, and her aura became extremely fierce. "Lin Zixuan, to be honest, you are not worthy of my brother at all. Don't you care about this abandoned son of the Tianhai Su family? After I defeat you later, I will make him kneel in front of my brother and apologize. None of you here can stop me. If you dare to let the strong men of the Lin family intervene, your Lin family will be destroyed. Lin Zixuan's beautiful eyes were filled with anger. Suyu was her man, and she would never allow anyone to insult Suyu. Ye Binglin, you don't have this ability. It's you who should apologize later. I want you to kneel in front of Suyu and apologize. Lin Zixuan's momentum burst out. Her long hair was fluttering, and the aura of the early stage of creation permeated the surrounding space. Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglin were stunned at the same time. The Department of Talents will conduct various statistics on major colleges across the country every once in a while. A few months ago, according to the information reported, Lin Zixuan only had the late stage of the Royal Air Realm. How come it has soared to the early stage of Creation Realm now? However, the Ye family brothers and sisters are also people who have seen strong winds and waves. They quickly came to their senses. Lin Zixuan, is this your confidence? Whether you are at the late stage of the Sky Control Realm or the early stage of the Creation Realm, there is no difference in my eyes. To defeat you, I only need one move. I don't even need to use combat skills. Ye Binglin's late stage aura became more and more powerful. She is confident in her fighting ability. Lin Zixuan, whose cultivation level is lower than hers, has no chance of defeating her. There was a hint of mockery on Zhang Wan's face. She knew that Lin Zixuan's storage ring could increase the attack power tenfold. Ye Binglin is destined to humiliate herself today. This woman with her eyes higher than her head will soon be unable to accept reality. Lin Zixuan said coldly and arrogantly, "Stop talking nonsense. Who wins and who loses? You will know after competing." Finished. She touched the storage ring on her finger and glanced towards Ye Binglin. Lin Zixuan also did not use any combat skills. With the help of the storage ring, she slapped a palm with all her strength. Ye Binglin had no intention of evading, and at first she wanted to use her left palm to resist. However, when the terrifying and destructive power in Lin Zixuan's palm burst out, this shocked Ye Qingtian, who was waiting for Lin Zixuan to collapse. The palm has not yet arrived. The ground around Ye Binglin was sinking rapidly and cracking. "Binglin, get away quickly!" Ye Qingtian roared before he could step forward to help. Lin Zixuan's cultivation level is only in the early stage of Creation Realm. How could she have such terrifying combat power? This is unreasonable. After Ye Binglin was shrouded in the terrifying destructive power of Lin Zixuan's palm, she could no longer move, and beads of sweat the size of peas appeared on her face. The breathing through her nose became very rapid, and there was a faint look of fear in her eyes. "I won't lose to you. I, Ye Binglin, will not lose." She clapped both palms at the same time, Earth Spirit Shield. A wall of mud rose from the ground in front of her. The unbreakable defensive power is condensed in the mud wall. Mr. Wei couldn't help but said, "This is the rank 4 combat skill Earth Spirit Shield, a very famous defensive combat skill in the imperial capital Immortal Martial Academy." Mr. Chiao and others next to him stared at Lin Zixuan without blinking. Suyu said to himself in his heart, "The mantis arm is like a chariot." The next second, the moment Lin Zixuan's palm hit the Earth Spirit Shield, there was a bang sound. The extremely defensive Earth Spirit Shield suddenly exploded. Ye Binglin, who was behind the Earth Spirit Shield, had blood spurting out of her mouth, and her figure flew back. After a few seconds, Ye Binglin's body fell to the ground, her face was extremely pale, and blood was flowing from the corners of her mouth. Lin Zixuan's figure approached. She stepped on Ye Binglin. "It's time for you to apologize. Go kneel down and apologize to Suyu immediately." Now that Ye Binglin was seriously injured, she temporarily lost the ability to fight Lin Zixuan, and she swallowed saliva one after another in her throat. Why is this happening? How could Lin Zixuan, a monk in the early stage of Creation Realm, defeat her. She refuses to accept it. She couldn't accept reality. Didn't you hear what I said? The cold light in Lin Zixuan's beautiful eyes became stronger, and she stepped a little harder. The sound of tiny bones cracking came from Ye Binglan's body. You want me to kneel down and apologize to an abandoned son of the Tianhai Su family? Lin Zixuan, are you awake? I advise you not to play with fire. Ye Binglan gritted her teeth and said. Ye Qingtian said angrily, Zixuan, do you have to make trouble like this? Lin Zixuan insisted, if she loses to me, she must kneel down and apologize to Su Yu. Ye Qingtian did not dare to provoke Lin Zixuan, he was afraid that Lin Zixuan would destroy Ye Binglan. It's all because of you. Things will get out of control again and again. You're so damned good. Ye Qingtian's figure suddenly appeared in front of Su Yu. A horrifying aura enveloped Su Yu, and his cultivation had reached half step to the heavenly star realm. He only needs one final step before he can officially become a strong man in the heavenly star realm. Zixuan, let my sister go, or I will kill this bastard on the spot. Ye Qingtian raised his right hand and pointed his palm at Su Yu. Mr. Wei and others next to him had a sneer on their faces. They all knew that Su Yu was now a strong man in the early stage of the heavenly star realm. Ye Qingtian will not be Su Yu's opponent at all. Lin Zixuan shook her head and sighed, Ye Qingtian, you and your sister are really looking for death. Now you two kneel down to apologize to Su Yu and kowtow 100 times, maybe you still have a chance to survive. Otherwise Linzhou will be your burial place. Immortal world is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 87. After Ye Binglan heard what Lin Zixuan said, she sneered. While sneering, 2 mouthfuls of blood spurted out from his mouth. Lin Zixuan, are you out of your mind? You actually want my brother to kowtow and apologize to the abandoned son of the Su family? My brother is the deputy minister of the Ministry of Talents, and he will most likely control the entire Ministry of Talents in the future. What kind of thing is an abandoned son of the Su family? He's just a lost dog. I think you're crazy. Ye Binglan mocked. Ye Qingtian shook his head and said, Zixuan, I am really disappointed in you. For this piece of trash, you can even say such ridiculous things. Is your confidence the result of the Lin family's strong man hiding in the dark? Do they dare to touch me? If you could make the decision in the Lin family, there would be no marriage contract between you and me. I say it one last time, take your feet off my sister. I'll count to 3. If you still don't do it, I will not only make this bastard's head fall to the ground, but I will also make his body turn into a mist of blood. 1. Ye Qingtian had just counted to 1. There was a bang sound. His right hand aimed at Su Yu suddenly exploded. It turned into a ball of blood mist in the air. You don't have to count to 3. You talk a lot of nonsense. You keep calling me trash, so who do you think you are? Su Yu slapped out his right palm. Snapped. A slap hit Ye Qingtian on the right side of his face. Half of his face was spattered with blood and flesh, and he was sent flying up, spinning in mid-air. Finally, it fell to the ground with a crash. Ye Qingtian groaned repeatedly in his throat. His face was full of disbelief. He looked at the position of his right palm, which was empty. His right hand was really turned into blood mist by Su Yu. How did Su Yu do it? Why didn't he notice that Su Yu made a move? What kind of cultivation level does this abandoned son of the Su family possess? The slap that Su Yu just slapped made Ye Qingtian feel like he was facing an unreachable mountain. He couldn't even avoid it and could only watch helplessly as the slap hit him in the face. When Ye Binglan saw this, she was dumbfounded. She was completely dumbfounded. The extremely domineering brother in her heart was actually inferior to an abandoned son of the Su family. How so? Her brother is a strong man who is half a step into the heavenly star realm. Su Yu walked towards Ye Qingtian step by step. Ye Qingtian wanted to get up from the ground. Su Yu moved his fingers, and two stones floated from the ground. Then, it flew towards Ye Qingtian's knees at a terrifying speed. The piercing power contained in these two stones is too terrifying. Ye Qingtian had no time to use his defensive skills, so he could only concentrate all his spiritual energy on his knees. But everything he did was in vain. Puff, puff. The sound of two flesh being broken was heard. Two stones sank into Ye Qingtian's knees, and before he could stand up completely, he fell to the ground again. Su Yu said calmly, "Did I ask you to stand up?" Ye Qingtian gritted his teeth tightly, vicious green veins popped up on his forehead, and his breathing was very rapid. As one of the deputy ministers of the Ministry of Talents, he had never been so humiliated. At the same time, there was a deep fear in his heart. The abandoned son of the Su family in front of him was definitely above him in cultivation. This means that Su Yu has at least the cultivation level of the early stage of Tianxing realm. According to the investigated information, Su Yu, the abandoned son of the Su family, is only 21 years old. A 21-year-old heavenly star realm powerhouse? Ye Qingtian swallowed hard in his throat. His clothes were soaked with sweat. Su Yu, don't go too far. He suppressed the fear and anxiety in his heart. After Ye Binglan came to her senses for a moment, she gasped for breath and her eyes were filled with horror. She also guessed that Su Yu was at least a strong man in the early stage of the heavenly star realm. It seems that Han Qingshan, the vice president of the Immortal Martial Academy in the imperial capital, and his granddaughter Han Zi did not die at the hands of the powerful Lin family, but were killed by Su Yu. No wonder Lin Zixuan fell in love with Su Yu. A 21-year-old heavenly star realm expert was indeed more evil than her brother. If Ye Qingtian's light is like stars, then the light on Su Yu's body is like the blazing sun. A mocking smile appeared on the corner of Su Yu's mouth. He looked back at Zhangwan and others and said, "He actually told me not to go too far. Do you think he's funny?" Mr. Wei nodded and angrily said, "Ye Qingtian, as the Deputy Minister of the Department of Talents, can you please have some face? Before you took action, did Senior Su take action against you? It was you who kept saying that you would make Senior Su's head fall to the ground. It was you who said that you would make Senior Su's body turn into blood mist. Why does it seem like Senior Su is bullying you in the end?" Zhangwan said coldly, "No wonder Zixuan looks down on you, so what if you take the position of Deputy Minister of the Department of Talents? You can't even compare to a hair of Su Yu's. You really don't know anything about yourself. Just now Zixuan asked you and Ye Binglan to kneel and kowtow to brother Su Yu. This can be regarded as saving you. But instead of being grateful, you are all crazy. Are you satisfied with the current situation?" Ye Qingtian was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. "Su Yu, don't be too proud. If you dare to kill me and my sister, our family will not let you go. My sister and I are from the Ye family in Kunlun Mountain. The Ye family is a true immortal cultivating family, which cannot be shaken by these big families in the secular world." A look of pride flashed across his face, and he continued, "At the age of 21, you can achieve the cultivation level of the heavenly star realm. You are indeed proud of yourself. But you don't understand what the world is really like. If the Ye family wants to kill you, it will be as simple as crushing an ant to death. Now I can give you a chance. As long as you accept me as your master, I can introduce you to the Ye family and let you see the vastness of this world." The identities of Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglan have always been mysterious. Now Zhangwan, Mr. Wei and others learned that these two people came from the Ye family, a cultivating family in Kunlun Mountain. Their expressions suddenly changed. Just when Ye Qingtian was sure that Su Yu didn't dare to take action again, Su Yu said indifferently, "Have you finished your last words?" He has even seen the brilliance of the immortal world, so he thinks Ye Qingtian's words are ridiculous. Without waiting for Ye Qingtian to answer, Su Yu's figure flashed and kicked Ye Qingtian high into the sky. Ye Qingtian screamed with fear on his face, "Boy, how dare you!" Su Yu looked calm and waved his arm. There was a boom. Ye Qingtian's body exploded in the high air, like fireworks, extremely gorgeous. When Ye Binglan and Lin Zixuan took action just now, the people in the square had already retreated. Now only Mr. Wei and the others are here. For a moment, the surroundings became quiet. After Ye Qingtian revealed his true identity. Su Yu still kills him. Immortal world is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 88. Ye Binglan stared blankly at the blood mist spreading high in the sky. She couldn't recover for a long time. Her brother Ye Qingtian died like this? Mr. Wei and others had a little more worry on their faces. The monks in the immortal cultivation family are not easy to mess with. It is rumored that before the spiritual energy revived on the earth, some areas of Kunlun Mountain were covered with spiritual energy all year round. Some cultivating families have been there for thousands of years. The rules of these immortal cultivating families are strict. They cannot leave the Kunlun Mountains to contact people from the outside world until the spiritual energy of the earth is revived. To put it simply, the immortal cultivation family in Kunlun Mountain is definitely much more terrifying than the Su family in Tianhai. Although Su Yu possesses the cultivation level of the early stage of the heavenly star realm, in front of the profound cultivating family, he may really be like an ant. Now Ye Qingtian is dead. Mr. Wei and others knew that there was no possibility of relaxation between Su Yu and the Ye family. We can only take one step at a time. More than a minute later, Ye Binglan finally accepted the fact that Ye Qingtian was killed. She yelled at Su Yu, "Zombie, why did you kill my brother? Do you know what you're doing? The Ye family of Kunlun Mountain will not let you go. Sooner or later, I will make your life worse than death." She roared until her voice became hoarse. Su Yu's face was calm. "You guys who come from a family of cultivators are really superior. Are you only allowed to kill me, your brother? Ridiculous. If the Ye family of Kunlun Mountain dares to come and avenge you indiscriminately, I will personally destroy the entire Ye family. Now you can hit the road and be with your brother." Finished. He walked towards Ye Binglan step by step. Lin Zixuan's feet still did not move away from Ye Binglan. Now, seeing Su Yu getting closer and closer, a flash of panic flashed across Ye Binglan's face unconsciously. She desperately took out an ancient talisman from her body. He activated the talisman without hesitation. Immediately afterwards, a layer of golden light enveloped her entire body. "Little bastard, stop talking nonsense. In front of our Ye family, you are not even as good as a speck of dust." The next second, ouch sound. Ye Binglan disappeared at Lin Zixuan's feet. Ripples appeared in the surrounding space. Lin Zixuan's expression froze. Mr. Wei, Zhangwan, and others rushed over immediately. Su Yu said calmly, "She used a teleportation talisman." According to Su Yu's judgment, the teleportation talisman Ye Binglan used could only teleport her a short distance. "You stay here. I'll be back as soon as I go." "Say it." Su Yu jumped into the air. His figure quickly disappeared from everyone's sight. Mr. Wei took a deep breath. Ye Binglan is indeed from the Kunlun Mountain cultivator family. She even has a teleportation talisman on her body. This is the first time I have seen a teleportation talisman. Mr. Chiao frowned. General teleportation talismans cannot be fixedly teleported. They can only randomly teleport the person who activates the talisman a certain distance. Even the initiator can't be sure where he will be teleported. "Do you think Senior Su can find Ye Binglan?" Lin Zixuan remained silent. The chance of Su Yu catching up with Ye Binglan is really slim. Zhangwan said in a deep voice, "The Ministry of Talents must know that Ye Qingtian has come to Linzhou. Now we should think about how to deal with the next thing. Especially you Zixuan. Once the news of Yekingtian's death spreads, the Lin family will probably find you soon. When the time comes, will you choose Suyu or your family? The eyes of Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, and Nijixuan rested on Lin Zixuan. Through the series of events just now, they already knew that the relationship between Suyu and Lin Zixuan was unusual. Lin Zixuan replied without hesitation, "I will not leave Linzhou, let alone Changsheng Academy." The meaning in her words was obvious, she was going to choose Suyu. Even if she breaks with the Lin family in the future, she will not hesitate. At the same time, Suyu walked through the air for a certain distance to the west. His figure paused high in the sky. Ye Binglan's teleportation talisman was better than he expected. A sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Subsequently, his entire body disappeared into thin air. Suyu can only teleport short distances on the earth, otherwise the earth's current laws of heaven and earth will be unable to bear it. Every time Suyu teleports, he needs to release his true aura and tear open the space. In the future, he can actually make some teleportation charms. This way he can teleport over long distances. Using the teleportation talisman to teleport, Suyu does not need to release his breath, and the teleportation talisman will not tear apart the space. The transmission principle of the teleportation talisman is based on the laws of heaven and earth that already exist on the earth. At this moment, in the suburbs several kilometers away. This is an abandoned factory. The pale Ye Binglan was teleported to a dirty river nearby. A foul stench wafted from the river. It may be caused by the indiscriminate discharge of sewage from these factories. Ye Binglan gritted her teeth and stood up from the ground. After she was far away from the foul-smelling river, she took a deep breath, with anger on her face that could not be dissipated. "Suyu, you damn bastard! I'm going to give you a taste of hell soon." Ye Binglan roared angrily. She concluded that Suyu couldn't catch up, and she felt a burst of pain just thinking about spending an ancient teleportation talisman. This was earned by her mother who sacrificed her life for the family. Ye Binglan worked hard to adjust her emotions. She clenched her palms tightly into fists and gasped, "Suyu, I will make it impossible for you to live or die." When she finished speaking, a cold voice came into her ears, "Tell me, how do you want to make me unable to live or die? I'm all ears." When Ye Binglan heard this, her expression suddenly changed. When she looked up and saw Suyu in the sky, her body trembled and she fell to the ground. Suyu slowly landed from high in the sky. Ye Binglan's voice trembled, "How could you possibly know that I would be teleported here? Even I don't know where I'm going to be randomly teleported to." "Who are you?" Suyu said calmly, "Don't you and your brother really want to visit me? Don't your brother admire me very much? Who do you think I am?" This moment, Ye Binglan's whole body felt like it was struck by lightning, her eyes widened wider and wider, and her two eyeballs seemed to fall out of their sockets. She seemed to have lost her soul. Suyu is Su Changsheng? Suyu is actually senior Su Changsheng? This means that Suyu's cultivation level is far beyond the early stage of Tianxing realm. Even if the Ye family of Kunlun Mountain mobilizes all the strong men, will they eventually be Suyu's opponent? Anyway, she knew that no one in the Ye family could slay a dragon with one sword and seal a space rift with one sword. This time she and her brother really messed with the wrong people. Ye Binglan moved her lips and wanted to speak. Suyu didn't have time to listen to her nonsense, so he moved his right index finger lightly. Immediately afterwards, a blood streak appeared on Ye Binglan's throat. She felt a coldness in her throat and covered it with both hands in horror. But the blood stains expanded too quickly. There was a click sound. Just a few seconds. Ye Binglan's head rolled off her neck. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Immortal World is back, I am Invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 89. In the square of Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy. Lin Zixuan, Zhang Wan, and others waited patiently. No one is allowed to come near this place until Su Yu comes back. Regarding the murder of Ye Qingtian, they believed that they had to suppress it for the time being. Time flies. Zhang Wan saw a black shadow coming from the sky in the distance. Brother Su Yu is back. Su Yu held Ye Binglan's dead head in his left hand, and the figure landed steadily on the square. When Mr. Wei and the others saw this scene, a look of shock appeared on their faces. How did Su Yu catch up with Ye Binglan? Ye Binglan obviously inspired the teleportation talisman. Such random teleportation, even Ye Binglan herself doesn't know where she will be teleported. Now that something has been done, it must be unavoidable. The Changsheng Academy is destined to become the #1 academy on Earth in the future. By then, geniuses from all over the world will flock to Changsheng Academy. If you want Changsheng Academy to grow rapidly, you must have a certain amount of pressure. Say it. Su Yu flicked his left hand. Ye Binglan's head flew upward into the sky. A force caused the head to float steadily in the sky. Su Yu pointed at the sky and drew with his fingers. After a few seconds, 2 lines of large blue characters appeared in the sky. Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglan are dead. The murderer, the Dean of the Academy of Immortality. These 2 lines of words are extremely eye-catching. When Lin Zixuan and others saw this, their bodies suddenly tensed up. Su Yu said calmly, "Sometimes it is useless to escape. It is better to let the trouble come more violently. From today on, Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy will officially be renamed Changsheng Academy." Finished. He flicked his fingers. A huge boulder about 10 meters high flew out from his storage ring. This boulder comes from the immortal world. It's called Wengxian Stone. It contains the true meaning of Great Dao. Su Yu aimed at Wengxian Stone from a distance and waved his arm. Stone chips flew. Soon, the 4 characters Changsheng Academy appeared on the Wengxian Stone. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, and others approached the immortal stone. Their bodies trembled. The mystery within the immortal stone gave them an indescribable feeling. Immediately afterwards, their eyes were fixed on the 4 big characters written by Su Yu. There is a mysterious meaning in these 4 words. If a monk sits around this stone and practices, he will definitely gain something unexpected. Now they began to doubt that Su Yu really only had the cultivation level of the early Tianxing realm. Can a strong person in the early stage of the heavenly star realm write down 4 big characters that contain such a mystery? When they were filled with wonder in their hearts, Su Yu said, "Dean Lin, expel all irrelevant people in the college. I want to set up a large formation in Changsheng Academy." Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao immediately became energetic. They always thought that Su Yu was a 7-star formation mage. They wondered if Su Yu was going to set up a 7-star formation. This type of formation requires countless spiritual stones. Last time I returned to the Xia Kingdom, in order to arrange a 7-star formation, it took almost the entire country to accomplish it. Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan, as 1-star formation mages, were also lost in thought. After a while, Lin Zixuan, who came back to her senses, and Zhang Wan went to expel irrelevant people in the college. At the same time, Lin Zixuan launched the official website of Changsheng Academy. Lin Zixuan had people make this overnight last night. The official website states that the Dean of Changsheng Academy is Dean Su. The vice presidents are Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan. The leaders of the Formation Society are Wei Zhong and Qiao Heng. The person in charge of the Alchemy Society is Nai Jixuan. Except for Su Yu, the real names of everyone else appear on the official website. This is the result of discussions between Lin Zixuan, Wei Lao, and others. They want to make the Dean of Changsheng Academy more mysterious. Changsheng Academy, plus Dean Su. Will this remind people of the mysterious strongman Su Changsheng? That's what Mr. Wei and the others meant. They wanted to pretend to be powerful so that the outside world could not guess whether their dean was actually Su Changsheng. In this way, at least some people will not dare to act rashly. Half an hour later, Lin Zixuan and Zhang Wan finished their work. Now apart from them, there are only 200 students left in the academy who are willing to join Changsheng Academy. These students were temporarily placed in dormitories. Lin Zixuan asked them not to step out of the dormitory. At present, they do not know that the dean of Changsheng Academy is Su Yu. Lin Zixuan's beautiful eyes rested on Su Yu. If you want to set up a large formation, spiritual stones are definitely indispensable. I have saved some spiritual stones over the years. I will get them for you. Zhang Wan and others also wanted to provide Su Yu with spiritual stones. Su Yu waved his hand and said, I have enough spiritual stones here, so you don't have to worry about this. The words fell. The light on his storage ring flashed. Immediately afterwards, pieces of dark purple spirit stones appeared in everyone's sight. This is a supreme grade spiritual stone worth 100 million. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao and Nijixuan kept gasping for air, and their eyes were as big as lanterns. Zhang Wan and Lin Zixuan held their breaths, their beautiful eyes flashing with color. Su Yu took out a total of 100,000 supreme grade spiritual stones. Calculated based on the price of one supreme grade spiritual stone of 100 million, 100,000 supreme grade spiritual stones is equivalent to 100,000 billion. The most important thing is that the reserves of supreme grade spiritual stones are very limited worldwide. No country can produce 100,000 supreme grade spiritual stones at once. After Mr. Wei and the others roughly counted the number of supreme grade spirit stones that Su Yu took out, they felt as if they were dreaming. Only Su Yu still looked calm. 100,000 supreme grade spiritual stones are just a drop in the bucket to him. Next, I'm going to set up the formation. Although the formations I have arranged are too mysterious for you, as long as you understand them carefully, you will always gain something. I will try to slow down the formation as much as possible. Su Yu's eyes swept over Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, Lin Zixuan, and Zhang Wan in turn. The four people nodded seriously. Nijixuan is an alchemist. He has no interest in the strategy and can only stay quietly on the sidelines. Su Yu didn't say any more nonsense. He began to use his spiritual energy to move pieces of supreme grade spiritual stones, and set up a formation that was both offensive and defensive in the academy. At the same time, when Su Yu set up the formation about the murder of Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglin spread quickly on the internet. When the identities of Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglin were revealed online, the entire Xia kingdom was shocked. Immediately afterwards, the matter spread abroad. After all, Ye Qingtian is a half-step heavenly star realm expert. More and more people are paying attention to this matter. Su Changsheng, a mysterious and powerful man, had just been born in Linzhou. Now another longevity academy has appeared in Linzhou. The dean also happened to be named Su. This caused a large number of people to begin to speculate that the dean of Changsheng Academy was Su Changsheng. In just a few hours, Changsheng Academy is famous all over the world. Immortal world is back, I am invincible. Author, listen to the wind with your L. Chapter 90. When the outside world was talking a lot about Changsheng Academy, Su Yu has already laid out a formation that is both offensive and defensive. Mr. Wei, Mr. Chiao, Zhang Wan, and Lin Zixuan could not come back to their senses for a long time. They had just been watching Su Yu set up the formation. That kind of mystery. That kind of mystery. Let them benefit a lot. Su Yu handed a jade plaque engraved with complex patterns to Lin Zixuan. The formation I arranged must be controlled by at least a monk in the early stage of the creation realm. I will leave for Tianhai tomorrow, and you will stay to guard the Academy of Immortality. Linzhou will not be peaceful during this period. Lin Zixuan did not go to take the jade token. She frowned, I want to go to Tianhai with you. Suyu understood Lin Zixuan's thoughts. He said, this time I will let Yu Xian and Lu Lin stay in Linzhou. Someone needs to guard this place. You are someone I trust. Go to Tianhai. Suyu will take revenge for the past with bloody means. The killing methods Tang Yuxin saw before were just commonplace. The blood in Suyu's eyes was not acceptable to ordinary people. It's better not to let Tang Yuxin see that kind of scene. When Lin Zixuan heard this, she took the jade token and sent a secret message to Suyu, Deng disciple, if you dare to die in Tianhai. Even if you set foot on the road to hell, I will go find you. Suyu also used voice transmission and said, Zixuan, are you confessing your love to me? Can't you just talk properly? You can say you want to die with me. But don't worry, nothing will happen to me. Lin Zixuan glared at Suyu and said nothing. This time even Tang Yuxin and others stayed in Linzhou. There really needs to be someone guarding this place. Although Lin Zixuan was reluctant in every possible way, she decided to follow Suyu's arrangement after hearing that Suyu trusted her. This formation will not be activated until a foreign enemy invades. As long as you hold this jade tablet in your hand, you will naturally know how to control the formation. Suyu warned Lin Zixuan. Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao were very itchy. Now there was no fluctuation or light in this formation. They could not tell what level of formation it was. But Senior Su consumed 100,000 supreme grade spirit stones, so the level of this formation is definitely not low. In the past, the Xia Kingdom deployed a 7-star formation and dispatched many formation masters. With their joint efforts, it took many days and nights to complete the arrangement of the 7-star formation. Senior Su's layout speed was really too fast. This amazed Mr. Wei and Mr. Chiao. Of course, this was because Suyu deliberately suppressed his speed. Otherwise, with the speed he should have set up, Mr. Wei and the others wouldn't even be able to realize it. Senior Su, are you setting up a 7-star formation? Mr. Chiao couldn't help but ask. Suyu smiled lightly and said, when this formation is activated, you will naturally know what level of formation it is. Okay, I'm going back. Now Changsheng Academy has just been established. There are a lot of things to deal with. Lin Zixuan and the others stayed, and only Suyu went back alone. After returning to the villa, Tang Yuxin has broken away from the state of cultivation. Originally, Suyu wanted to hold a grand birthday party for Tang Yuxin tonight. But Tang Yuxin felt that a simpler life would be enough, and she suggested going home. Naturally, Suyu would not refuse this girl. The two walked out of the villa together without calling anyone else. Suyu, I saw the news on the internet. Did you kill Ye Qingtian, the deputy director of the Department of Talents, and her sister Ye Binglan? Tang Yuxin asked worriedly. She knew that Suyu was now the dean of Changsheng Academy. Now everyone on the internet knows that the person who killed Ye Qingtian and Ye Binglan was the dean of Changsheng Academy. Suyu nodded slightly. Yuxin, don't worry about me. I have my own sense of proportion. Tang Yuxin calmed down and said, Suyu, I believe you. Because you've never lied to me before. Then, she thought to herself, Suyu, I can't give you any help now. I only have this life to accompany you to death. No matter what happens to you in the future, even if you become the target of public criticism, I will be with you. Next. Tang Yuxin changed the topic and talked about the warm past with Suyu. Time flies. Suyu and Tang Yuxin walked into a community talking and laughing all the way. Tang Yuxin's home is here. Now. The door of her house was exploded, and the ground was covered with fragments of the wooden door. Tang Yuxin's mother, Zhao Maikan, fell to the ground with her cheeks swollen and a trace of blood flowing out of the corner of her mouth. It was obvious that she had been slapped countless times. Mikoto, I am your brother. Our family is here to be your guests. Is this how you treat guests? I didn't even have a cup of hot tea. I slapped you a few times to make you understand the rules. You should thank me. A middle-aged man with a fierce face stood in front of Zhao Maiken. This person is Zhao Zhigang, Zhao Maiken's brother. The woman standing on his right is his wife He Wan. At the moment, He Wan's face was full of mockery. Dad, why are you being polite to her? Grandpa and Grandma loved her so much and must have given her a lot of good things. Now that I have been specially recruited by Tianhai Immortal Martial Academy, my future cultivation will require a lot of resources. We must let this bitch spit out what is rightfully ours today. A woman about 19 years old spoke. She is Zhao Lingfei, the daughter of Zhao Zhigang and He Wan. A carefree man was holding Zhao Lingfei's waist. He was Su Yuanlong, a student at Tianhai Immortal Martial Academy. His father was a teacher at Tianhai Immortal Martial Academy. This time Su Yuanlong came to the state to meet Zhao Lingfei. A few months ago, Zhao Lingfei met Su Yuanlong when she went to Tianhai to play. From then on, Su Yuanlong began to miss Zhao Lingfei. It was Su Yuanlong who patted his chest and guaranteed that Zhao Lingfei could be specially recruited into Tianhai Immortal Martial Academy. Zhao Zhigang's family has been short of money in recent years. From time to time, they would come and force Zhao Maiken to give up money. In fact, all the Zhao family's money back then had been lost to Zhao Zhigang's family. Zhao Maiken has never received any benefits. Zhao Zhigang's family just wanted to find an excuse to exploit Zhao Maiken. After all, they can get some benefits from Zhao Maiken every time. Zhao Zhigang, there is nothing left in my house. You have already dug it all over. What else do you want to do? Zhao Maiken felt desperate. He Wan said coldly, isn't that bitch you gave birth to a student of Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy? She must have accumulated some cultivation resources over the years. Get her back quickly and give her cultivation resources to my daughter. Otherwise, I will kill you today. While talking, He Wan kicked Zhao Maiken. After all, she can be regarded as a monk at the second level of Qi condensation realm. This kick broke two of Zhao Maiken's ribs. Su Yuanlong kissed Zhao Lingfei and said, Linzhou Immortal Martial Academy no longer exists. If your daughter is willing to be Lingfei's slave, I can take her into the Tianhai Immortal Martial Academy. He had seen photos of Tang Yuxin at Zhao Zhigang's home. Tang Yuxin is more touching than Zhao Lingfei. Otherwise, he would be too lazy to accompany Zhao Zhigang's family here. As long as Tang Yuxin becomes Zhao Lingfei's slave, he will have plenty of opportunities to play with Tang Yuxin. Zhao Zhigang bent down and said with a smile, my good sister, Lingfei is destined to soar into the sky in the future. For the sake of you being my sister, I am willing to let Lingfei give that bitch a chance. You have to take good care of it. Finished. He patted Zhao Maiken's face with his palms again and again. Zhao Lingfei, who was leaning in Su Yuanlong's arms, was as proud as a peacock, and a cold snort came from her nose. At this time, Su Yu and Tang Yuxin are back. When they saw the scene before them, Tang Yuxin rushed to Zhao Maiken's side immediately. Su Yu's eyes flashed coldly, and he asked, Yuxin, how do you want them to die?